Welcome to the Missouri Poetry Out Loud State Contest. I'm Brewer, Ackerman, and I will be your MC for our event. I'm happy to see everyone here. It's especially nice to be in the company of these young people today. As I prepared for today's contest, I thought about what brings all of us together today. We're here because this kind of thing matters. Literature matters, and these students matter. I'm an educator, and I've spent years of my career enjoying language and enjoying things that I thought mattered, particularly the power of words from a page and into our hearts, spoken and out loud. As a teacher, I've seen the transformation that can happen when a student loves a piece of literature and owns it and shares it. Those are moments in my own classroom where I feel like I matter, and teachers need to feel that. In those moments, students also realize they matter, and students need to feel that. We're able to celebrate the writer, the poet, the playwright, at times like that in our classrooms, because they matter. On days like today, we're reminded that learning and the love of learning matters. A lot of learning happened to get us here today. This is the 8th Missouri Poetry Out Loud contest. The National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation have partnered with state arts agencies in the United States to support the expansion of this project, encouraging the nation's young people to experience great poetry through memorization and performance. Poetry Out Loud helps students master public speaking skills, build self-confidence, and learn their literary heritage. The Missouri Arts Council sponsors this event for our state. We're proud of the students and the teachers who got these 10 young people here today, who participated in Missouri's schools. Nearly 6,000 students participated in a Poetry Out Loud project in Missouri alone. And this is our top 10. I hope you'll find today an example of what's good about the arts and literature in education, because that matters. I'm happy now to invite Nola Ruth, the chair of the Missouri Arts Council, up for a few remarks.
It is really my pleasure to be here. Poetry Out Loud is one of the programs that the Missouri Arts Council is extremely honored to present. Within the country, Missouri is known as one of the states that is really active in Poetry Out Loud. That is a great distinguishing mark for Missouri. Thank you all for all of your hard work, and enjoy today. And remember that you are here out of 6,000 people. That's quite an accomplishment in itself. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce for you the First Lady of the State of Missouri, Georgianne Wheeler Nixon.
This is an exciting day for all of us, and each year at the Poetry Out Loud, we see such exceptional students, and I know today we're going to be delighted again, because these are special people who have learned to have trust in themselves. It takes trust to tackle a poet from another time and place, and to work your way through their work until you understand what the words say, and what more than that, what they really mean. It was a poet, Robert Frost, who once said, "Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found words." The poems you recite today once began as mere emotions, swelling up from the author's heart, then through their pen and onto the page. But once there, the words were just ink on paper, until you memorized them, kept them alive, and give them to us today. You're doing a wonderful and difficult work of returning that emotion of these poems so that once again they become a living, breathing thing, and they continue to live. That's why the state of Missouri is so proud to support this event and the young people here today. Because our future cannot be resigned to just words on a page. Our destiny cannot be contained only in population projections or economic reports or demographic analysis. Our future needs people who are not afraid to think, to feel, to create, to live, and to breathe. We need poets, we need you. So congratulations on your hard work that has brought you here today. Your dedication to poetry has contributed immeasurably already at your young age to the literacy and culture of our state. You're an inspiration to us. And this is also a special day for your family members, friends, and teachers who have helped you on this journey. So, all of you, thank you for your support, giving this wonderful opportunity to these students to participate in Poetry Out Loud. And as we also owe a great debt of thanks to our Arts Council, Nola Ruth, who has supported this so strongly. And it's just a great honor for all of us and for these young people to have our Poet Laureate here. Missouri's very proud to have our Poet Laureate, and this is a great inspiration. We'll hear from Dr. William Trowbridge later, who has another book of poetry coming out in April. So perhaps this will be your career too. Maybe some of you will be professors of poetry today. I also want to thank Chris Pieper, because I think it says a lot that our Director of Economic Development is here, because in Missouri we know that it's not just opening a new factory or building some new business, but that the arts contribute to the bottom line in Missouri, because people who move here want to have an educated population. They want to have people like you who are bringing more life to this state. So thank you for all you do, and it will be a wonderful day.
I'd now like to introduce Diane Maudsley, the Director of English Language Arts at the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education.
This is the third time I've had the pleasure of attending the State Poetry Out Loud contest. Each time I attend, I always come away so impressed with the public speaking skills and the self-confidence that the competitors demonstrate. To be successful in this competition, you really have to know your poem. You have to read it closely, uncover its layers of meaning, and then decide how best to relate it to your audience. In the words of a former state champion, by memorizing and reciting a poem, you make it a part of you, which necessitates gaining some understanding of it. You have to figure out what it means and how you're going to present it to your audience. It also becomes more personal to you, and you appreciate something new about it with each recitation. To participate, students spend hours immersed in great literary works. They learn to love poetry and learning itself. This is what most of us want for our students, and it's readily achieved by those who participate in this competition. In closing, on behalf of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, I'd like to welcome everyone to this very worthwhile competition. To the audience, judges, parents, teachers, and other invited guests, I know you're in for a treat as we watch these young ladies and gentlemen show us how they breathe life into a poem. To the competitors, I'd like to say thank you for your hard work and hours of preparation. Congratulations for making it this far in the competition, and good luck today. Thank you.
Now please welcome Chris Pieper, Director of the Missouri Department of Economic Development.
I'm very honored again to participate and take part in the Poetry Out Loud competition. I can say from my first experience last year in taking part of this competition, I'm sincerely in awe of all of the competitors and the amount of work that they put in to do their outstanding performances, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that again. As our First Lady so eloquently stated, I'm here as the Director of Economic Development, not just because the Missouri Arts Council is part of our department, but also just to emphasize the strong connection between what the arts do and what you all do as aspiring poets and what we do at the Department of Economic Development. The arts make Missouri a place where people want to grow their business, where people want to open new factories and to hire young people like you who share in the love of the arts that I think that we try to foster here in the state. In addition, the economic impact that the arts provide to our state is truly profound. There was a recent study by a group, Americans for the Arts, that reported that just in the state of Missouri alone, the arts generated $1.1 billion in statewide economic activity, and that's just in 1 year. So that'll give you an idea of how significant the arts are to our economy. The Missouri Arts Council, under the leadership of Nola Ruth, continues to make a in Missouri. Just last fiscal year, the Missouri Arts Council awarded $7.2 million in grants to 653 arts organizations in 149 Missouri communities. The Arts Council grantees produced more than 15,000 arts events, and those events were attended by more than 8 million people. Again, that's just last year. That's a lot of numbers, but the bottom line is that the arts in the state of Missouri are crucial to the overall economic well-being of our state and to growing the kinds of strong communities and the strong state that we're looking for. So again, I'm just very pleased to take part in this event again, and I want to thank you all for your hard work and your dedication to the arts. Thank you.
You know, students, it's a pretty big deal when the Poet Laureate shows up at your recitation contest. I think we all recognize that that is an important thing, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. Dr. Trowbridge is a distinguished university professor emeritus at Northwest Missouri State University and the author of more than 340 published or forthcoming poems. He's published 8 collections of poems, and his work has been reprinted in more than 30 anthologies and textbooks. Please welcome Missouri's 3rd Poet Laureate, William Trowbridge.
Thank you for your nice introduction. And happy to see all these people attached to poetry. I'm going to briefly say a few things that have to do with what I feel poetry does. And I want to start out with a poem that a friend of mine wrote fairly recently about watching his baby daughter in the crib, and as he was watching, he noticed that she was looking at something on the ceiling and cooing and holding her hands up, and it was a water stain in the ceiling, and she was fascinated with it, and you know, went on and on and on, and he began to think, you know, this is like me looking at a Rembrandt painting, you know, and there she is. And what happens to us, though, when we start to grow out of that is that we experience the malady that the novelist Walker Percy referred to as everydayness. And it sets in, the more you grow, the more it tries to get to you, I think. We all establish daily routines. We get up pretty much the same way. We go to school, we go to work, we come home, we live in the same town, in the same house, and pretty soon everydayness sets in. It results in a kind of tunnel vision, if you will, and if you know, some people live most of their lives in this state, I think, just going from this test to the next, and you know, okay, it's a rust state, so what? Off they go. Poetry, I think, helps take you out of that. As a writer of poetry or as a reader of poetry, the poet, any artist, I suppose, but I think poetry is maybe a more intense version of this. The poet has to observe, like that child looking at the rust stain. The poet has to observe closely, and something that may be a kind of everyday object to some people, if looked at in the right way, can become a poem. So the poet has to observe closely, to look, to keep the eyes open. Joseph Conrad said the writer must make the reader see, and see he meant in the big sense of that word. And that's what a poem can do for the writer and for the reader. And so I think it helps you live what's one author referred to as the examined life, a life that is richer and deeper than that person who's walking around in the everydayness cloud. There's a statement that sort of stuck in my mind that the archaeologist Howard Carter made when he first they first opened King Tut's tomb, and he was looking through a kind of hole to see the first sight of what was in there. And somebody said, what do you see in there? And he said, I see wonderful things. The poem can do that for you, I think, bring that wonder back and that experience back. And that's why I think it's quite valuable, and why I'm so glad to see you all participating in this today. Thank you.